Hello, this is Andrea St. Amand, creator of Unbound. Today we're going to talk about yes, but. Yes, but meaning when you find yourself saying, yes, I really do that, but I can't. Or yes, I want to do that, but I can't. Or even thinking that, yeah, but. Or yeah, I don't even know what I want, but I can't have what I want right now because there's all this other stuff going on. That yes, but is you actually telling yourself, no, I can't. And that is a surefire sign that you are in a state of internal conflict. And internal conflict will lead us into paralysis, and that is not a good place to stay. So I want to talk about that for a minute. And if any of you guys are in internal conflict, like I was for years, I want you to feel like it's time to get out. So here's what internal conflict looks like. Here's the yes, but. It is when you are figuratively sitting in a dark tunnel on the train tracks and you're thinking, I got to get out, and when is that light ever going to come down the end of the tunnel? When am I going to find it? And you're like, oh, wait, I do want the light, but what if that light is the train coming down the track? And then you start arguing, wait, the train went that way, so it shouldn't be coming from this way, and you just start this argument. You don't know which way to leave the dark tunnel, and you're afraid that even if you do leave it, the light that you find is going to be the train coming. So guess what happens? You end up not moving, or you end up taking a few steps forward and then stopping, and then taking a few steps back and stopping. That internal conflict is something that if you're a smart person, which you must be because you're watching this video, that is where our analytical mind pops in. Our analytical mind certainly helps us to some extent, but not when it gets overactive. And most of us have a very well exercised analytical mind. So that is not always our friend, because we can argue both sides of a situation to death. You can argue all about this on one side and then take the other side and argue about it over here. And what that comes out looking like typically is a situation with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and it's like, oh, I keep telling him I need this thing, but he's not listening. But and you just start arguing on all sides. For me, it actually came up at work a lot, where I was thinking, okay, work is really stressful, but it's a really good job. It's mentally stimulating. It's mentally satisfying, but not always. But then I go into work and I keep telling these people, this team, this firm, this is what I need. This is what I want. This would be great. I'm so gifted over here, but they keep giving me projects over here. So am I standing up for myself or not? And that internal dialogue, it will make you crazy. And then when we still keep with that internal dialogue, that conflict, arguing against ourselves, we don't typically stop there. We then will add like a third way of looking at the situation and then argue that, and then a fourth way of looking at the situation and argue that, and then we're just going on and on. And the result is paralysis. The result is absolute paralysis. And paralysis leads to indecision. So then we end up not taking any action, being completely indecisive. And the more we stay in a place of indecision and inaction, then the more we start to doubt our ability to make a good decision or our ability to make any decision at all. Then we lose the courage to just take any action. And we stay there literally paralyzed on the train tracks in the dark tunnel. And we think, because we're smart people, well, I've got to be able to figure this out. I've got to be able to figure this out. And if I just keep analyzing it, if I just keep looking at this work situation, I'll figure it out. If I just keep looking at this relationship situation, if I just keep looking at my life situation, I'll figure it out. It'll come. It typically does not come in a situation like that, because when someone does offer you a path, you go, yeah, but, and you go back to your arguing and staying on your hamster wheel. So one of the things that keeps you in a state of, in addition to paralysis and indecision and inaction, is that it really puts you into disempowerment. And no one wants to feel disempowered in their own lives. And yet that's where we put ourselves. We are on that hamster wheel of internal conflict. And when somebody comes down into that dark tunnel on the train tracks and says, there's a doorway right over there, take my hand, just climb up, we can walk back up the stairs and you're out. Our first reaction is usually, I can't, I'm too busy, I've got too much on my plate. So taking that into your life, when somebody offers you a solution, most of the time we're thinking, I can't take on one more thing. My energy is so strung out, because you really are strung out into this internal conflict and this arguing with yourself all the time, you're thinking, I can't take on one more thing. When in reality, you really do need that help, someone to step in and bring you clarity so that you can see, here's a way I can combine different things and get out of this dark tunnel without having a train run over me. So the other way this comes up, if you don't get out and you don't take the help, you're carrying around all of this argumentative energy within yourself, all this internal conflict, and then guess what starts happening? You start putting that out on the people around you. So you start really arguing more with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You start arguing with your kids. You start, every little thing just like just keeps you in that argumentative mode because you're already in such a state of conflict and arguing with yourself all the time already that it starts coming out all the way around you. So y'all, that is the place you need to get out of. We all need to get out of that. It's terrible. And it usually means we're so far away from ourselves, we can't get back, we can't see the path back to ourselves. We're just in conflict and arguing with ourselves. So that is the one thing I have given to all of my clients is clarity and ease and validation of self, where you can start putting energy back into yourself. And it is a great thing to start working on when you are ready to stop that internal conflict and have some clarity. Then reach out to me, because life is too short to live somebody else's dream. It's also too short to stay stuck on those train tracks and argue with yourself in internal conflict about where you're going to go next. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. My name is Andrea St. Amand, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.